Hello, I am Mariano Gutierrez Alarcón, and welcome to the second season of the 12 Man Academy, the show that asks the questions we believe the fans want to know about football. Joining me for this second season is well-known and passionate manager Gus Poyet and our voice of the fans, long-suffering supporter Stephen Brown. Together, we will get inside the pitch and hope to answer your doubts about managing at the top end of the game while we get the inside track of being a top-level football manager. In each episode, we continue trying to get a better understanding of the thoughts, the decision-making and philosophies of top-level coach, from picking a club captain to tactics and team identity. So strap in and join us to the 12-Man Academy as we explore the world of football and connect the fans to the managers like never before. Hello, welcome to the second season of the 12-Man Academy. A new season started, new players, new managers, new systems, new characteristics, everything is new. Hello guys, how you doing?
Very well, Mariano, nice to be back. I was missing a little bit this, so nice to be back.
Good to hear. Hello Stephen, how you doing?
Very well, Mariano, how you doing? Hello Gus, good to be back, fellas.
Okay. In this season 2, what we will try to do, or what I will try to do with you guys, is actually using all the themes that we talked in the first season to be more up to date and on the day with the things that happen in our beautiful Premier League, and talking and developing more in depth all the themes, all the things that we talked last season. And to start with, basically, what I would like to talk and to start to talk about it is, with all the buzz and fuss about the importance of the number 6 position and the new style that Pep Guardiola made in Manchester City all these years, and now the function of Rodri into that position and changing the way we play in the midfield, or not changing or reinterpreting the way we play in the midfield. I would like to talk to Gus about what player characteristics brings Rodri, what tactically or what system Guardiola is using and exploiting from Rodri into the new Manchester City in these early times of the Premier League.
Well, I think that number 6 was always important. It's becoming more popular now because of what you said. Manchester City first making a fullback join in the middle, and then making even a centre half join in the middle, and that created 2 number 6s and trying to have the possibility to not only control midfield but also play diagonal ball to the wingers, because he wants that situation to be the killer situation, the 1v1. Now, saying that, Rodri in particular, first, he was brought to the club to be the only number 6, controlling everything, attacking and defending, being the player always starting the offensive action with the centre half and the fullbacks, trying to manage the tempo of the game, but also being the one behind the ball when Manchester City was arriving with 5-6 players in the box, always trying to cover and to control what normally happen in a game when you are attacking. It's like it was vigilant. It was looking for the spaces between the defense and the forward players, and it was holding, the famous holding midfielder, trying to control. I think the main thing with the Rodri is the change that Guardiola made him even more important, incredibly. First, he was playing alone, and it was important in my system and in Guardiola's system for sure. But now, with having another one next to him, either we said fullback or central defender, most of the time Stones, he started developing that option of going forward as well, which before he didn't have that. Okay, before he was just holding, and now depending on which side is the ball, we even see Stones going in behind, making run forward. So one is the one he joins in, and the other one is the one holding. So that gave Rodri an even more, I would say, more famous role because now scoring the Champions League winner or scoring the winning goal this last weekend, everyone start talking about what you said, Mariano, the number 6, how important it is. And then we will talk about the other ones that probably Steven is going to ask, because the prices that we're paying at the moment for that position is tremendous.
And well, you mentioned this going forward, but going defensively also, what characteristic the player in that position, or for example, or in this particular case, Rodri has in order to be going forward is one thing, and holding or defending if a certain back goes pushing forward like Stones is going in attack.
And understanding, Rodrigo, Mariano, sorry, is it understanding of the game, reading the game perfectly. You know when you're attacking where the ball is going to drop, if it's going to be a break, if it's going to be, a decision to make a foul because he's taking yellow cards for the team as well. Understanding what the team needs in every moment, defensive and offensive. In Man City, it's a little bit more, if you understand the game, it's easier because you got a position that you need to maintain. In other teams, the number 6, the ones you need to cover everybody, is more a role of running and covering the pitch. So it's depending on the team and depending on responsibilities they give you, your team, your identity. But Rodri in particular is more about the understanding. If you don't understand the game, you cannot play at Manchester City. It doesn't matter how good you are on the ball. It doesn't matter how strong you are. You need to understand the game. That's why sometimes certain players, they go to Man City and they spend a lot of time on the bench learning, and it takes time. The biggest example, without talking about number 6, is Grealish. His first season at Man City is nothing, and his second season is extraordinary. Why? Because he needed to understand his role, when he needed to attack, when he needed to keep the ball, when he was the chance to do the 1v1, which minute it was the one that you needed to get through, you needed to score, or which minute you needed to hold and not lose the ball. And that's something that Manchester City have, and the number 6 is one of the most important positions with the number 9, I would say, and in certain teams, the goalkeeper.
So with certain other teams now that are spending a hell of a lot of money on this position, you've got Arsenal spending on Rice, you've got Chelsea spending on Caicedo, and you sort of get to the point that is it just an inflation in price, or do you think that they are now worth £100 million in terms of a striker, in terms of an attacking midfielder in the old sense? Do you think that the price, I'm not saying it's to justify the price, but I mean in terms of how much money is being spent on that position, and how Liverpool, you could see how they struggled at the beginning when they lost Fabinho and Henderson straight to Saudi. But now they've had to go and buy third choice after Chelsea just paid all that money.
I would say that maybe because in football there is plenty of things that are fashion. It was 4 years ago, it was kind of fashion to buy a goalkeeper and pay 50, 60, 70 million. Mm-hmm. Before that, it was a centre half, Rio Ferdinand, Stones. You needed to pay fortune for a centre half. Then obviously it was always a striker. That for me, he is an expensive one. But now, because fashion is number 6, everybody's paying fortune for a number 6. I don't think the value is real. I don't think at all. But it's true that people is paying attention a lot to that part of the pitch, and you as a coach, you want to make sure that when they look at your team, you have one of the best in that position, because if no, you're going to be the bad one, not bringing the right player to play number 6 nowadays. The same with the tactical situation that we're saying. That's why it's so important. Guardiola decided one day to put a full back in the middle, and then there are 4 teams that they're trying to do the same. Now he's putting a centre half in the middle, and there is another 4 teams that are trying to do the same. I never like it to copy, never. I think you need to have special players. Why I'm saying you cannot copy? Because if Guardiola in his team is spending 1 billion already, 1 billion, I think, in his time in Man City, he cannot play every player in midfield. And he needs to choose carefully which one will understand that position. How you and your team at any level, you're going to be able to put your central midfielder in the middle, central defender, sorry, in the middle, back to goal, with people around, when normally the central defender is playing with the whole pitch in front of him. And from one day to the next, you are in the middle and it's people coming from everywhere. It has to be a special player. So now, the worst part of this invention, we can call it, is that for a few teams it can work, but it's embarrassing how the opposition, they don't know how to deal with that. Because at the end of the day, Steven and Mariano, it's like they're playing three at the back, which is central midfielder. With the ball. They play without the ball 4, and with the ball they play 3. And if you train them the week to defend against 3-2-5, we call him, or 2-4-3, you've done that 100 times during your training sessions. But no, people struggle because now they see Stones in the middle and the winger follow him. And now I don't understand. I think for me it's more embarrassing to see the opposition dealing with that situation than the teams themselves going and copying Guardiola because it works for them.
You talked to us before about creating a square in midfield instead of a triangle, or that is that them overloading then? So having watched Spurs with Conte, where we're always 2 central midfielders against 3 or 4, and it's always been overrun, and that was the problem. In that terms of that system of playing a square, where they become a square, and it's 4 against 3, 4 against 2 again. Is that the difference? Is that where the clubs need to realise when they're playing against it, how to get around that, how to work the plan to that?
Yes, and there's plenty of people that does it different ways. It's like we said about Man City doing it in a certain way, Arsenal doing it with the full backs normally, and now depending if you play partly as a central half in defense or a midfielder in the middle. Then the Brighton way, which is spectacular, just 2 6s and 2 centre half, 2 6s, and the striker dropping as a false 9, creating the 4 in the middle, and the 2 wingers coming a little bit inside to maintain the 4 at the position. It's always a situation of trying to have one more and make the opposition to work, and you need to understand when and how you need to do it. That is, Mariano, especially because now if you're a coach and you want to have a job in the main leagues, maybe not the Spanish league, but in most of the rest of the leagues, you need to say that you are an intense team, offensive team, looking to create chances, ball possession, and, this is the most important now, pressing high. And you to press high, you need to take risk at the back, and taking risk at the back means that the opposition needs to find a superiority somewhere, and the best way to find it at the moment is in the middle of the park. So the teams that are trying to press too high, most of the teams are trying to create a 4 in the middle, either we say full back, centre half, or even a false 9 coming back. I don't know why everybody tries to do the same. The most beautiful thing in football is that different ways and different way of winning. You can win football games like Guardiola and win Champions Leagues, and you can win games and Champions League like Mourinho. Now, it's depending on you, the convincement of the players and the players that you bring. And not everybody following in one way. That's what I am a big admirer, even if I don't play like that, of Cholo Simeone. It's a different way. It doesn't copy anyone. It's Cholo Simeone way. And I think that I like to take the best things under what I understand, because I couldn't copy, because you don't know how they do it, how they train it, how they understand, how they explain it, how they choose the players. You need to know so many things to be able to do even something similar. And remember that when you lose the ball in those situations, you are completely open. So you have to have the understanding of the people that they are not playing, the power, the strength, the being able to defend in 1v1 situations in the whole pitch because you are alone. And that's not for everybody as well. So only the top teams, they are able to do it at the best level most of the time with consistency.
But do you think you can do that? You just said it's at the top, but do you think that obviously everything that's done at the top filters down all the way to park football, and everyone's going to try this and try it to see if it works? are players of a certain level lower capable of doing that job as a number 6, as in the same way as Rodri, the same way as potentially the new guy at Chelsea, Caicedo, will do, and Yves Bissouma at Spurs?
Well, I think that I like this this kind of characteristics. The Caicedo, the Bissouma. They are players that they can play the ball well. They understand. They are happy to have the ball, and they cover a lot of park running and covering players, and they hold the midfielder that I will use in my team. Okay. The day I'm lucky to manage the best team in the world, I can have one that doesn't mark, you just play, because you don't need to defend. But they got the ability of covering the pitch. I said this many years ago when Chelsea got Kante from Leicester. I thought it was the best defensive center midfielder in the world. Okay, and then they started playing in number 8. You remember? I wanted to kill myself. And that's going back to Caicedo and to question and your question about the 100 million player. I think that's a new role for Fernandes. You will see at Chelsea. Caicedo is going to be the one more sitting, and if he's one, he's going to have the possibility to go a little bit forward and join in. It's going to be Fernandes, which is new as well. And you will see him closer to I think it goes better for Fernandes' characteristics. Because when he was playing a lot in the middle, everything that was in front of him, it was exceptionally. Everything he needed to go backwards, it was okay, just okay. The pace of the Premier League is difficult. And now having Caicedo there is going to allow him to have a covering behind.
Well, it happened similar in the World Cup with Fernandes. It happened something similar, because when he was supported by McAllister, he ran free and everything. And when he wasn't,
look, you just name a player who understands the game in a different level, which is McAllister. McAllister came to England many years ago. He was a typical number 10. He only played with the ball. He couldn't settle down. He went on loan. He realized many things. And then he had a couple of coaches that they, kind of teach him, we can say, the role of the central midfielder in England, the box-to-box, the one he needed to know where and how. And then he became Roberto De Zerbi and given a specific role in the 2 number 6s with Caicedo. And now he's going to Liverpool easily, because now he understands the game in a different way. It would be nice to have a test of a player before and after. Like a test that you can read his mind before and after that improvement, because the situation, I can compare it with Walker at Man City. If you listen to Walker, how he's playing, the player he was before at Spurs, and then the player he became at Manchester City with GUardiola, you will understand that he knew little things about the whole football. He knew a lot about his position, and now he knows about the whole. So that's the difference between playing in a certain teams, in another team with certain coaches in a certain way or not. The characteristics that we say, the identity and the understanding.
Can I just ask about Argentina as world champions? So with those players we've talked about, and obviously you have Messi in there as well, everything goes through him. How would they have lined up? Do they line up in a similar way with the number 6? Was that De Paul, or was he on the right? I'm just trying to think how Argentina would have set up in the World Cup final.
So Argentina was trying to play with the midfielders that they were able to cover, all the spaces that they were left by the presence of Messi, Alvarez, that he won that position at number 9, and Di Maria, that they had a little bit of a freedom under the circumstances. Di Maria was working back a lot. So the other 3, especially McAllister, Fernandes, and De Paul, they needed to understand a lot which one will join in, which one will give the ball to Messi and cover behind him, which one need to hold. So it was a big understanding for Messi to be at the level that he was. But I think, look, there is certain moments in football that you are a good player, okay? You got good qualities. But to go to another level, you need a team. And they need what I call the team needs to click, I'm going to talk about myself now. I'm going to be a little bit like an easy one. I'm not going to talk about others. I went to Brighton, and we were in League One, fighting for relegation in November 2008, I think it was, until September 2009. We didn't click, and I know we clicked in September, October 2009 because I was sitting on the bench, Plymouth away from home. When Plymouth was pressing, we were playing over and being 1v1 with the goalkeeper. And when Plymouth was dropping, we were keeping the ball and searching for solutions. And I remember telling Tarico, Tano, that's it, we click. And when you click, every single player looks better. You know, it's like they go to everyone a step higher, everybody steps forward, because now everybody's doing their bit in post of the team. And I think that happened to Fernandez, that happened to Alvarez, striker. It was not starting. It was Lautaro. And then from nowhere they put him on, and then he stay on, and then he will become a key player, because they needed to understand all the situations surrounding Messi. So many managers in Argentina, they tried that, different ways. And for some reason, they couldn't achieve it. But they couldn't achieve it by one game, because Messi lost 3 finals. Okay? It was not like any other 3 finals with a different result winning Messi, and nobody was talking about this one. You know, it was one more. But the problem was the difference in this time, it was that Martinez, the goalkeeper, made the save in the 120th minute, and then you go and win. That's the only difference. If not, everybody would be talking still that it was something missing for Messi. But going back to number 6, fashion. No worries. In 2 years' time, we will be talking about, well, let's wait what Guardiola does, and then we see about which player we're talking about.
Well, so, okay, enough about Manchester City and Rodri, but which other teams that now emulates Guardiola, you think emulated better in the Premier League? And probably who using this overcrowded midfielder does it different than Guardiola and successfully too, and is showing that is developing into a team to click, into a team to develop a identity, a clear identity.
There is many they are trying. I mean, the easiest one is Arsenal, because Arteta knows Guardiola. He done it when Guardiola was there with the fullbacks. Started doing it last year with Zinchenko. Now he's trying, because Guardiola does it with the central defender. He's trying it with Partey when he plays, especially if he changes the defenders. That's the easiest one, the most similar one.
Is he achieving an identity doing so, or is just a copy?
Well, it's still doing things that they are new as well in Arsenal that other teams they don't do. The pass from the fullback to the wingers inside, they made a run inside and no in diagonal outside. It's a new one. It's only Arteta doing that, so that's an improvement from himself. Man City was not doing that, but the one joining in midfield, like Zinchenko was playing the other day, and leaving the space to have a diagonal pass to Martinelli, so it's 1v1. That's the aim. People doesn't understand. They don't go in the middle just to go in the middle and so only to create superiority. It's as well to have the chance now to play to the wingers in a diagonal ball, not receiving the ball back to the defender that will smash you. So you can control the ball sideways, and then these wingers, Saka and Martinelli, they got the responsibility to attack you 1v1 and create. Okay? I think that's the main thing of this situation, not to have the fullbacks too wide, and the pass from the fullbacks to the wingers is, parallel to the touchline. Okay. Now, saying that, there is many. You will see Burnley. Burnley does it. That is company. Now, in Championship, it worked well. Now it's a little bit more difficult, because now you need to defend. Remember, last year he was losing the ball. I watched a game against Watford. He was losing the ball, and somehow he was sorting out the defensive situation. This year he's losing the ball and he's conceding 3 because the level of the Premiership. So, but it's an style. And if it's working for him and he's convinced and the players they like it, sooner or later, Burnley is going to start winning. Then it depends on the teams. There's teams that what they're doing is also pushing one fullback. Spurs was doing this last year as well, pushing one fullback high, so the player that is wide in there can go in the middle. and you stay with 3 at the back. You're playing 4, but one fullback goes and the other stays, and you switch all over. So there is different ways depending on the characteristics of your players and depending who you want high and who you want in the middle. I like Spurs this year. You know, I think it's gonna be practically impossible.
You made one person happy.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna finish in the top 4, because the games this year on Spurs, I will say that if somebody is looking for a betting to pay high, he can bet in a 0-0 Spurs. It's not gonna happen. Okay. Maybe next weekend is that, and we cannot even publish like this podcast.
I will try to publish before that.
Because
we're playing Burnley.
It's an incredible way to play forward. I'm even surprised that it was 2-0 the other day. You know, I thought this year the games of Spurs will be 3-2, 4-2, 2-2, 3-3 all the time, because that's the way they're gonna play. But no, because they don't cover themselves. It's because they really think they are a really offensive football team. Okay, imagine for a Spurs fan, Stephen, to go from Conte to now.
It's just night and day. We talk about it all the time. It's just amazing to watch. It's just something's changed.
Now, what I said to you is, with Conte first year, Champions League football, yes or no? What happens if you don't qualify this year? Are you happy because you're playing forward? That's a problem, because but you want to play in the Champions League. You want next year to be playing at home against Real Madrid. And if you don't play against Real Madrid, it's going to be a part of the fans that they're going to say, I'm not going to pay $1,000 and not watch Bayern Munich. You know, I want to pay money to see the best game. So it's always, we say,
but we understand it's a reset for us. It's been so bad that the quality, the whole thing is Spurs fan. We've been brought up on champagne football where we never win anything. Well, we were playing shit football and we didn't win anything. So we might as well enjoy it. Go there, watch the games. You played there. The crowd loves
I really like it. I'm happily surprised. I was a little bit worried in pre-season because I was watching the game and it was goal, and thinking, whoa. Now I think they settled down a little bit. Even more worried with Harry Kane left, because you think, how you gonna, who is gonna score the 20+ goals? At the moment, because of the way they're playing, they're sorting it out. Let's hope that nobody gets injured and you can hold in there, which is all that they can get a player before the end of the season.
That is the worry, is the injuries.
We're recording this just a few days before the end of the transfer window.
But we understand it's a reset for us. It's been so bad that the quality, the whole thing is Spurs fan. We've been brought up on champagne football where we never win anything. Well, we were playing shit football and we didn't win anything. So we might as well enjoy it. Go there, watch the games. You played there. The crowd loves goals.
Going back to the discussion of number 6 and now Spurs playing this way, which is how similar it is to Guardiola's style. But I noticed a difference. And for me, I was mentioning earlier in our private conversation with Steven that what I see about Spurs' style of play now is that they play as a block. They go forward as a block and go back as a block. It seems like very compact in the way they do the transition and everything. And actually what is missing now is the 3 up front that to pick up the game. But the rest, Bissouma, Sarr, Edoji, Porro, and Romero and Van der Vaart, they are getting Van der Vaart. Still, you can see that it needs some adaptation to the Premier League, but they are playing like a block. It's never in a space there when they lose the ball, but still you can see that for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, they work like a machine, and then obviously there is work in progress. They are not playing this style for a very long time.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Okay, I'm sure that depending on the personnel. Because you try to play one system and certain games you go one fullback, certain games you go another one. And it looks like it's not important, but it's very important. The difference, I think the main difference is that Guardiola now, he decided to stay 99% with 3 at the back. Okay. and the Spurs is staying two. The two fullbacks, they are never there. Okay? One is high and one goes in the middle to try to get it, so they are never there. So I remember when Guardiola changed, Guardiola used to play like that with the two fullbacks really high, and it was only 2 and 1 in the, 3 players. And he realized it was too much space and there were too many breaks, and then he decided to change to 3 and 1. And now it's 3 and 2, but depending on the two, so the idea is finding a way of what you say about the transitions, Mariano. The only thing that in precision didn't work fantastically well for Spurs, it was a defensive transition. When they were attacking, they were arriving in the box with so many people, but one bad ball or one good, kick away, and it was no players. You would say, oh, how many? Spurs doesn't have any players at the back. I think now they're improving that, because remember, it's very easy to tell a player to attack that way. Everybody wants to go that way. The other way is a little bit more difficult. So when you arrive in a team that was so defensive for so many times, so many years, and you tell them that, the players, what they do, they say, oh, thank you very much, let's go, and they started forgetting a little bit about that way. Now there is a little bit more solidness. But the most important thing, I think, this Tottenham and the midfielders is the way they control in the game. They are happy to have the ball. They are happy to have short passes, going and support. Bissouma, I think they had more than 100 touches. I mean, that I remember only Xavi in Barcelona had that, like Iniesta. So there is things that they are happy to be on the pitch because they feel they are controlling the game. And as soon as you lose the control, and that happened the day at Bournemouth, boom, the manager reacts and make a change and sort it out. Because remember, there is all kind of coaches that doesn't make changes nowadays. Guardiola, it doesn't change until the 80th, 90th, or even after he played with the same 11. Some people that it doesn't matter the result after 60 minutes, they make a change because they have to. Yeah. So there is different way, and I think nowadays Spurs, it will depend a lot on how the coach reads the game, and I think he's reading the game very, very well at the moment. And I think if that continues, it's going to be great for the team.
I think a lot to do for me is they're talking about Bissouma, Madison, but Romero is a World Cup winner, and he is a very good defender. He now seems to have a partner next to him that he can trust. You can just see they're starting to trust each other. But for me, he is the big difference. He is holding that back line together to allow the whole thing to work.
Yes, I agree with you. And another thing which is important is one system. You play 2 center half, you play 2 center half. I'm not going to be hard on Dyer, but sometimes to adjust Dyer and to be able to play him, you needed to put another center half, or you needed to put a fullback that cannot go forward, to stay 3 at the back, because you're playing with Dyer and their characteristics, and you didn't want him to stay alone in a big pitch. So I think that's another big decision that it was not made in the last 4 years. Okay, not playing Dyer, not being one of the leaders at the back. And time will tell if he's right or not. At the moment, it looks right, unfortunately for Dyer. But, football changed very quickly, and you lose one center half and you need Dyer back, or you need a different one. So you need to be in that situation. Now they're talking about maybe Sanchez leaving. So then are you bringing someone? Are you going to go with a young one? That's up to the coach, up to the club. But it's important that that if at any stage you don't have Romero, which is an absolutely key player today in Spurs, so he's not there, who is there? Who is going to play? Because it could be a red card. It could be a red card 3 weeks. It could be an injury 1 month. And you need a player there. I mean, not similar because it will be expensive, but that he can cover with the confidence that the team can still play in the same way.
Are you saying because he's Argentinian, he's probably going to get sent off soon? Is that what you mean? What do we do?
No, but it's natural. Nowadays, I mean, with all the new rules, I'm an old-fashioned guy in football. I used to like the football that I used to play. And nowadays, I mean, you make a foul and you kick the ball 1 yard to the side and you get a yellow card. You make 2 dummies taking a throw-in and you get a yellow card. I mean, where are we going? You know,
Which is
I don't know. I don't know how the players now. I don't know if they do. I wouldn't accept to get a fine for having yellow cards nowadays, because you can get a yellow card for putting your hand up. You cannot ask for a yellow card. You cannot put your hands up. You cannot run towards the referee. You cannot kick the ball 2 yards. You cannot take 5 seconds taking a throw in. You cannot step in front of the ball. You cannot. What are they looking for? They're trying to make a no contact sport, game, which is not that. It's a contact sport, and we need to maintain that, and we need to make sure that. And again, and this is for the next Mariano, please, because I got let the referee.
Okay.
I got a big message for UEFA about the VAR. Big message. You want to call the referee to see the VAR? Showing every replay. Don't talk to him. Just showing the replays from every angle, giving him 25 seconds, 5 different angles. He decides. Don't be sitting there telling him, look, the handball, look, here, look. And you show the same action 20 times, the one that you want to show that you're sitting up in there. No, referee responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will edit that. I will put it into our season 1 that I didn't publish yet. Sorry, guys, but I will be publishing that as soon as I can. Well, Spurs is obviously is a subject that we have to talk.
Let's go Man United now.
Man United.
Casemiro.
Yes, Casemiro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Casemiro is always a slow starter in the league because he's coming from pre-season and he needs to get the rhythm of the game. Last year,
he's not very fast, is he?
Well, no, but he understands the game and he's a key player. Last year, he was supported a lot by Fred, a lot, when Eriksen was not there, and McTominay. And this year, the coach decided to play in the beginning Casemiro, Mount, and Fernandes. Now, you need to be a very fit central midfielder to play with those, number 8 and number 10 in front of you, and to cover the space behind everybody who is going to attack Man United. So that's why they struggled a little bit, I think. Okay, it was no balance. It was too much for him. Now again, he's going to get fitter and fitter and fitter, and he's going to be, he's going to be able to do different things. But also he likes to join in, and he's getting closer to the box and he's scoring important goals, which means that you need another one to cover himself. So Casemiro nowadays, pace of the game, characteristics of the play, maybe needs another number 6 next to him. Another player he can understand when he can go, when he can stay, or when they can cover or not. So we go back to the same before, Mariano. Balance is the most important thing to find. How much we attack, how little we defend, how much we control, how much we didn't allow the opposition to control, how much we, how many players we put in the box, but how, good we are organized behind, how deep we need to defend, but how quick we can do the transitions. So many things is about the balance of the team. And for the balance, you need players to be able to cover the pitch and to be fit enough.
So, yeah, basically, when you mentioned this, that last season was the last part of the Manchester United season was very strong. And it was McTominay and you mentioned that, and Fred. And now he's playing with Mount. And basically, I was struck by how far away from the end of last season they were against Spurs. And basically now you actually answer me that without me asking you. You answer me why. And this is, I want to link it to which player characteristics are different from McTominay and Fred in Mount and
and Fernandes or Eriksen.
And Fernandes.
But look, Mount, Fernandes, and Eriksen is very intelligent, so he can hold, his position a little bit more. If we go with Mount and Fernandes, they are two very, very offensive players. That they will be looking for spaces to get the ball in between the lines and thinking about attacking. So as soon as you are not fluid and you are knowing the ball look good, then it's only one midfielder defending. Bottom line, okay? Now, when you have McTominay, who is a proper old-fashioned box-to-box midfielder, proper, but proper old-fashioned, because he's 6'2", he's strong, he can tackle, he can arrive in the box, he's scoring goals for Scotland, important goals. You know, he doesn't care if he needs to run back or sideways, cover people, fight, proper, and he can, you know, hold the ball well. Or Fred, who, for some reason, you know, people didn't know, and with Mourinho bought him, you know, the understanding of how to control the game, where are the spaces, when he needs to go, when he needs to stay. He give you a little bit of support, and he give Casemiro the possibility of having someone to cover the pitch. I tell you, because I played until I was 36. You think, and with all respect to Casemiro, which I admire him a lot, you think here in your mind that you can do it. But then you are 34, then you are 35, then you are 36. And it's not possible. You know, it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to do all the time. So Casemiro is very intelligent. He will understand the game. It will be very good positioning. But then when it's too much space to cover, he's going to suffer. It's natural. It's not difficult to say. You know, I'll make you an example. The best Real Madrid. He was playing with Modric and Kroos, and they couldn't win. And one day Zidane said, we need a player behind them. And they put Casemiro. And they won everything for fun. And the key was Casemiro. But what two midfielders in front of him? What two central midfielders, Modric and Kroos? So that means that depending on that triangle and that understanding of the three, you can become a top class player and very important, or you can suffer because the other players are that. What we said before, team. Everybody playing at the same, everybody having the characteristics, and especially, you know, using those characteristics in the benefit of the team.
Indy, we talk about the systems that now come in inverted fullbacks. Is that now happening in Europe, in Europe's top 5 leagues? Do Real Madrid do the same? I was looking at their lineup the other day, their midfield on paper, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Valverde, Camavinga, and it's like, is there a better midfield in the world with those players? But, you know, do they play the same way? Are they adopting in a similar way? Or is it just it's a Premier League way of playing?
It's a great question, that, Stephen, because you can say probably that the 4 of them, they are number 6. The 4 of them, Now, we know that Valverde can adapt to play number 8 and even play wide. They play during Real Madrid best times as well under Ancelotti. I know that Tchouaméni wants to play number 6, but I used to play in a Bordeaux when I gave him the debut as a number 8 because he's very good getting in the box, presence. Camavinga can play anywhere, number 6, number 10, left back, left midfield, no problem. And Bellingham is another one. He was number 6 of his life. He got a little bit of freedom in Borussia and he became an offensive midfielder arriving in the box. So Ancelotti said, how can I play them all together? In a line of 4? So player needs to play wide, or because they are number 6, I need to play it all in the middle. And we can say that on paper it's a diamond. On paper. You know, with Tchouaméni sitting, Valverde, Camavinga, and Bellingham at the front of the diamond. Now, it can be anything, depending on what they need. It can be that Valverde drops and they make a square, like we say. But the idea is to have that presence in the middle of the park. Now, why is that? Because Real Madrid doesn't have a number 9. Proper number 9. Because if you had a proper number 9, Benzema, Rodrigo play one side and Vinicius the other. And now you need to take one of them off. Now, not having that number 9, it was good thinking, good adaptation. We talked about that, Mariano, in the past. Manager needs to adapt to the team or the team needs to adapt to the manager. Well, here is clear, Ancelotti realizing that not having a number 9 and having those 4 midfielders needs to change the system and allow those players to express themselves. And so far it's working, and Bellingham has been outstanding in front of goal. So that's the situation about the identity of the team. It's completely different to last year in terms of the system, but using the players in the best way to win football games.
It was said the same about Manchester United before Haaland. They didn't have a number 9, and Man City and they when after Agüero, in between Agüero and Haaland, they need to adapt and they changed the way they were playing and they were praised because of that.
You know what I like about that question, Mariano? And this is one of the reasons that you know why I don't have social media. I do remember, and I won't say the names, I would love to say the names, how many people that they think they know about football were saying that Man City with Haaland was worse than the previous year. Go back, check. Everybody who is listening, check online on the social media. The people that they say Man City this year with Haaland, yeah, he will score goals, but they are worse than last year. And then they went to win everything last year. So those people who they think they know, they need to wait. One thing is to make an opinion, which is fair, and another one is to try to criticize a player just for being so good. You cannot criticize Haaland. You cannot criticize Kane. You cannot criticize Benzema. You cannot criticize Aguero. Of course, they're going to have bad moments, bad spells. But they are top-class football players. And no team in the world is going to be worse with one of them in their team. It's impossible. Now, that you can win things one way or the other, you can win things with one or the other, that's a different matter. But that's because it's a football team, because it's 11. But you cannot be worse. I mean, it's like, I know what he's going to say, Steven. What happened if Tottenham win something this year? If because Harry Kane left? Seriously? Do you think that the way that Tottenham is playing today, Harry Kane doesn't have already 5 goals in 3 games? For sure. So you cannot say one thing or the other. You just need to realize what is better on the moment that they play as a team and how the team they finish. I always tell you, one of my favorite sentence, wait and see. Just wait.
Well, I just found it going back to the price of the number 6s that are coming now. When you talked about Haaland, Kane, these are the players that make the difference. They need a goal. Haaland will score you a goal. You need to go, Kane, they do that thing. But then instead of spending 100 million on a striker, Chelsea paid 100 and whatever million for number 6. Twice, yeah. But, what would you do?
Fashion.
Goals win games.
I still fashion. Look, me, if I was a player available up front, there is not many, anywhere in the world, if I was Chelsea, I would buy it before the number 6. Because I know that, for example, I make an example. The most important player today, Maria, I don't know if I can say the date,
28th of August.
It's Sterling at Chelsea. It's not Caicedo, it's not Fernandes, it's not Rhys James, it's not Jackson that just arrived and is a very good player. It's Sterling. Why? Because he's making the difference and putting the ball in the net. And at the end of the day, that's the play that make you win games. You can be the best team in the world keeping possession. The best. Spain in the World Cup. 1,150 passes. They couldn't score a goal. No chance to win nothing. They killed the coach, okay. But the idea was that they needed someone to score the goals. So that's the situation nowadays. Going by not too far, 3 weeks ago, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, Alvarez, Mbappe decided to play, boom, 2 goals a weekend, they won. You go Mbappe. You can play fantastic, but if you don't have that player, that's what I say. If I don't want to think, if this happened 5 years ago or 6 years ago, imagine 6 years ago, the teams in England, they were paying 100 million for Bellingham, they went to Real Madrid, or Caicedo, or Fernandes, yeah? They were paying that amount of money. And then you go and you try to buy Harry Kane, Haaland, how much you pay? 300. I mean, naturally. The problem was the other way around, and that 100 million is like it become the top, no? Everybody's 100 million player now, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. But it just, is it also the fact that there's not strikers? You sort of touched on it there, that they're not there anymore. Who is a 30-goal striker? There's about 3 or 4 that can score that many goals. Is that the difference? Is that where the shift in money has gone as well?
I think there is the player is developing so much about the tactical side and the way you play and how the system and which tweaking, things they are doing in the pitch, that we forgot about the most important thing that is creating those players. I said this many years ago. Most of the academies in the world, they are only creating players to pass the ball. Pass, keep the ball, finding spaces, triangles, squares, joining in midfield, dropping, blah, blah, blah. All these kind of possession football. And we are not creating proper wingers. 1v1, I kill you, I get the ball, I destroy you. 1v1. Proper strikers. Give me one chance, I will destroy break the net. Strong defenders, 1v1, ball or player. You are not passing, because it's only one way of playing football, unfortunately. So as soon as one is good enough, it's 100 million. and now there is no strikers. It's half strikers that we can buy.
Okay, on that cheerful note,
another one. Yeah,
with hopeless thing. Would you like to add any other team into the mix, or we shall wrap it up?
I think the number 6 is important, depending on the manager's system and the manager understanding of the game and the responsibilities you give them. My team is a key player. It's key. I will always ask my chairman first for the number 9 and the goalkeeper. But in the game itself, when we play, the most important player for me is number 6 in my system, because he's the one who manages everything, offensive, defensive, and both transitions, because he's in the middle of the park.
And do you have that player with Greece at the moment?
I got a couple of different characteristics, but I do. I got one, he went to Cardiff now, Siopis. Very small, but he can cover the pitch in an incredible manner, and he will cover everyone every time, okay? And play simple. And then I got the one that is playing in Turkey now, Kurbelis, which is more of understanding of the game and where it needs to be. And he can drop and become a defender, and he can give you the understanding on the angles to keep the ball as well. So a couple of good options. I play a couple of games with them both. But in general, I try to play with only one of them.
The characteristic you mentioned is a bit like Steven and me. I run, and Steven
play. 2 number 6.
Yeah. Who are you playing next?
I'm playing Netherlands away at PSV, which is interesting. I invite everybody to watch this game with Greece, because also Netherlands, at least the 2 games that they play in June in this final of the Nation League, one of the central defenders joins in midfield, and they stay with 3 at the back. So we're preparing for that as well, that maybe it happens. So it could be interesting. I don't want us to be, what is going on now? Coach, what we do? So you need to prepare, even if we don't have time. And then we play Gibraltar at home.
Okay, that should be a comfortable game, he says.
I hope so.
In paper. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, Steven. We will meet probably not every week as we used to do, but we will probably meet in a couple of weeks, and I will try to update all the season 1 episodes that they are not up yet. And thank you, guys. Thank you, Steven.
Yes,
thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the series, leave a winning review or a 5-star rating on the platform you're listening on. And do not forget to check our website at www.12asintheword-man-academy.com and let us know what would you like to know. If you would like to sponsor this podcast, please email us to sponsors@the12manacademy.com. See you next time at the 12 Man Academy.